BDSM, an exploration of power, consent, and intimacy. BDSM is a complex and often misunderstood acronym that serves as an umbrella term for a diverse array of consensual erotic practices involving power exchange, role-playing, and intense sensation. Far from the simplistic, often pathologized, depictions in mainstream media, BDSM is fundamentally defined by communication, trust, and strict adherence to established boundaries. This essay will unpack the core components of the acronym, explore the central dynamic of power exchange, detail the critical safety principles, and discuss its evolution from a niche subculture into a widely studied aspect of human sexuality. The initialism. BDSM combines three distinct yet often overlapping categories of practices, first documented in Usenet posts in the early 1990s. 1. B&D, bondage and discipline. Bondage. This component involves the physical restraint of a partner. This can range from soft, restrictive materials like silk scarves or cuffs to more complex setups involving ropes, e.g., Japanese-style shibari or kimbaku, or specialized suspension gear. The erotic appeal of bondage lies in the visual aesthetic, the loss of physical control by the restrained partner, and the heightened sensory awareness that comes with restricted movement. Discipline. This refers to the use of rules, training, and sometimes non-injurious punishment, all pre-negotiated and agreed upon, to establish or reinforce the power dynamic. Discipline often manifests in a role-playing context, where one partner is tasked with instructing and correcting the other. Dominance and submission. Dominance. This is the act of taking an active, controlling role over a partner, often called the top in a scene. The dominant derives pleasure from exercising authority, control, and setting the parameters of the interaction. This control can be psychological, emotional, or physical, and may extend into aspects of the relationship outside of sexual play, 24/7 dynamics. Submission. This is the act of willingly yielding control and authority to the dominant partner, often called the bottom. The submissive derives pleasure from the surrender of responsibility, the intense focus of the dominant, and the feeling of trust required to give up control. This dynamic is the core of power exchange, where authority is freely given and taken, forming a highly structured, consensual, and intimate interaction. 3. S&M. Sadism and Masochism. Sadism, the derivation of pleasure from inflicting sensation, often perceived as pain, though sometimes simply intense sensation, upon a consenting partner. Masochism, the derivation of pleasure from receiving sensation, discomfort, or psychological tension from a consenting partner. It is crucial to differentiate consensual S&M from non-consensual violence. In the BDSM context, the activities are a form of intense sensation play, where discomfort is eroticized within a strictly controlled, agreed-upon framework and never intended to cause non-reversible injury or trauma. The pillars of safe practice. The BDSM community relies on a set of fundamental ethical guidelines to ensure play remains a safe, healthy, and enriching experience. These principles elevate BDSM far above the sensationalized portrayal of dangerous sex. 1. Safe, sane, and consensual. SSC. The traditional cornerstone of BDSM ethics. Safe. Measures are taken to avoid lasting physical or psychological harm. Sane. Participants are in a sound, sober, and lucid state of mind, capable of making informed decisions about their involvement. Consensual. All activities are fully and explicitly agreed upon by all involved partners before the encounter begins. 2. Risk-aware. Consensual kink, RAK, an updated principle that acknowledges that BDSM activities inherently involve managing, rather than eliminating, risk-aware. Participants openly discuss and accept the potential risks involved in an activity. Consensual kink reinforces the fundamental necessity of mutual, ongoing consent for all sexual or power exchange activities. 3. Negotiation and the safe word. Before any scene, partners engage in a detailed negotiation where they discuss boundaries, limits, hard limits, activities that are absolutely forbidden, and desires. Most importantly, a safe word is established, a predetermined, non-sexual word, e.g., red, pineapple, that, when used, immediately and non-negotiably stops the scene, regardless of the emotional intensity or the pleasure of the dominant. This mechanism grants the submissive ultimate control, paradoxically reinforcing the consensual nature of their surrender. 3. Psychological dynamics and personal growth. Far from being a sign of psychopathology, contemporary psychological research often associates BDSM participation with positive mental health markers. Studies suggest that individuals who engage in BDSM are often more psychologically well-adjusted, less neurotic, and more open to new experiences than the general population. The appeal of BDSM lies in several key psychological benefits: mindfulness and presence. The focus required during a scene, especially for the submissive, can be intensely grounding, forcing participants into a state of mindful presence that acts as a release from the anxieties of daily life. Trust and intimacy. The level of trust required to give or accept absolute control in a scene is profound. Successfully navigating BDSM dynamics often deepens intimacy, communication, and emotional connection between partners. Role release. For many, the ability to play a role drastically different from their everyday personality, e.g., a high-powered CEO submitting or a quiet office worker dominating, provides a cathartic release from societal or professional expectations. Conclusion: BDSM, standing for bondage and discipline, dominance and submission, and sadism and masochism, is a sophisticated and highly ritualized form of erotic expression centered on the voluntary and temporary exchange of power. Its history, while rooted in figures like the Marquis de Sade and Leopold von Sacher-Masoch, has evolved into a modern, thriving subculture that emphasizes ethics, communication, and mutual respect above all else. By adhering to principles like SSC and RAC, practitioners transform potentially fraught scenarios into deeply intimate and rewarding explorations of trust, boundaries, and the vast, complex landscape of human desire. As society continues to destigmatize diverse sexual expression, BDSM stands as a powerful testament to the erotic potential found in carefully managed vulnerability and consensual control. The Libido Lab, for you with love. Thank you for your support.